everyone, Mrs. Smith here with another English video for you. So today's video is very closely linked to the one that you might have seen on YouTube with Mr. Sykes and myself playing the parts of the grandfather and the granddaughter who were writing letters to one another. Now today's video clip is going to be based on the idea of writing letters and most importantly writing letters to someone that you know. So when we are writing a letter to someone we know, we call them informal letters. So some examples of informal letters might be a postcard that you might send on holiday. It might be a thank you letter if you're writing to a friend or a family member to say thank you for a particularly nice gift. It might be that you're writing a letter to a family member or a friend again that has moved far away, and so you write to them regularly just to let them know how you're getting on. So the main focus of today is kind of informing someone that you know how you're getting on during lockdown. So what I have here is an example of how you would set out your letter, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through that part by part so that you have a really good idea about how you might want to set your letter out and also the kind of things that you might want to include within that letter to let them know what you have been up to, because I'm sure you've been doing some wonderful things and it would be really nice to share some of those, obviously with someone that is perhaps in your family or maybe a friend that lives far away. So as you can see on the top right hand corner of your letter, of your page, you've put the name and the address of the person that is writing the letter. So for example, if I was writing the letter, it would be Mrs. Smith and then my address. If you're writing the letter, it's going to be your name with your address. And remember, we're writing to someone we know, so it's okay to share our details with that person in the form of a letter. So just underneath where you have put your name and your address, you're going to add the date on which you're writing your letter. So for example, I've got here Monday the 2nd of July 2020. You would put the date on which you're writing your letter. The next part before we actually start writing our letter is the part where we address the person that we are actually writing our letter to. So for example, I have dear grandma, you might have a friend's name, you might have another relative's name that you want to put there, but it lets us know who that letter is written to. So the first section of your letter is going to be to explain why you're writing the letter. So in my example, we're asking grandma how she's been getting on during lockdown. And what I've also done is within that paragraph is I've asked her a few questions, because remember, it is nice for us to speak about ourselves and to tell others what we've been doing, but it is also quite nice to ask others what they've been doing and ask them how they've been feeling, just to make sure that we're thinking about other people and kind of how they're feeling within certain situations too. In the second paragraph of my letter, I've added what Little Red Riding Hood has been getting up to during lockdown. And as you can see, she has been doing some schoolwork at home, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have. And also she's learnt some really good relaxation techniques when things get a little bit too much. And that is a really good opportunity to explain and to tell the person that you're writing to what you've been doing during your lockdown experience. So it might be that you've been getting on with some schoolwork, or perhaps you've learnt a new skill, or you've taken up a new hobby, or you've just enjoyed spending time at home with your family. When it comes to ending your letter, you can use something like love from or see you soon. In my example, I've put love, and I have added Little Red's name because that is who my example is from. Now obviously when you're writing your letter, you will need to put your own name to show who your letter is from. So there you go guys. Hopefully now you have a better understanding of how you might want to set out your letter and what you might want to include in it. And remember, we do love to see your work, so please send in any letters that you do write to our Marshfields email address so that we can see the wonderful work that you are doing at home. You will see a few more videos from me over the summer holidays, so until then, take care and I will see you soon.